Welcome to week 2 of Biology 1046. By now, most of you should have access to the NSCC email, your TLM, Webboard, and Mastering Biology websites, and are feeling more settled into the course. Naturally, we had a few glitches with usernames and passwords last week, but hopefully by this week, those glitches will have been ironed out. What this means for the class is that many students have yet to post their webboard assignments, so if we could all be patient in responding to at least 2 student posts, hopefully by the end of this week all the posts will be up. Now that you have settled into the technology, it's time to settle into the course. So we'll begin by looking at Unit 1.
So here we are in TLM at Unit 1 on the course map, and if you click on the Unit 1 box and select View Unit, the Unit 1 document comes up, and each unit has one of these documents to help guide you through the elements of the unit. And each document follows the same pattern of learning outcomes, and then your learning activities, and then down to your assignments. So if we're going to start with the assignments for Unit 1, you'll notice that you've already completed number 1 and number 2 for Unit 1. Number 1 was the portfolio assignment and the self-assessment, and number 2 was the webboard assignment that you posted on the webboard. So for this week, it's number 3, characteristics of life assignment, and number 4, the Unit 1 reflection, which you'll need to pass in this week. So let's go back up to the learning activities. As I said, each unit comes with one of these documents, and the learning activities are the approach to studying the unit. The learning activities will usually include a reading from your textbook. It will also include looking at mastering biology, perhaps looking at tutorials or maybe an animation. And also the learning activities might take you to an external website to do some studying there. The purpose of the learning activities is to help you gain the knowledge needed for Unit 1 that you will then be assessed on for the unit test. So even though you're not passing in these activities for a mark, the information you gain will be assessed on the unit test. So it's very important that you go through these activities so that you are prepared for the unit tests. Tests, you say? Yes. There are 3 tests in online Biology 1046, and you will see on the course map that the first test is found after Unit 3, Cell Structure and Function, and you'll notice that on your course map it says unavailable. The test will become available as soon as all of your boxes have been completed and your assignments for these units have been passed in. We have included in the handouts area of TLM, so if you click on handouts, you'll see that we have test guides or study guides for each of the tests, Test 1, Test 2, and 3. So I would suggest that it's a great idea when you begin your units to take a look at the study guide, print it off, and have that study guide in mind as you are going through your units. Now each test is to be done in your local campus, and you will need to make an appointment with Student Services to get a proctor who will supervise your test at the college. And I will be giving you information on finding a proctor for your campus a little bit later.
Page 4 in your textbook starts off with the properties of life. What is life, and how do you classify something as living? Without even reading the text, you probably have your own ideas as to what classifies something as living. Does it breathe? Does it have a pulse? Can it reproduce? In the Unit 1 assignment, Characteristics of Life, you will be looking at how biologists classify something as living. Then using this information, you will write 1 or 2 paragraphs arguing whether an automobile is living or non-living. Be sure to argue for each property of life talked about in the text. And remember, a car might satisfy some of those properties, but in order to be classified as living, it has to satisfy all the properties in order to be living. Also, living, dead and non-living are not the same thing. In order to be dead, something has to be living in the first place. Non-living characterizes something that has never been living and does not satisfy all the requirements of the characteristics of life. So for some things, like my dog Finnegan here, it's easy to classify him as living. He uses energy to move, he can reproduce, he's definitely living, right Finn? He's also 11 months old and quite silly. But for other things, like this is my little dancing plant. Move. But would you classify this as living? Can it reproduce? Does it have cells? Those are the types of questions that you need to ask yourself when you're arguing for the automobile. Just make sure that if it's living, it has to satisfy all the characteristics of a living thing.
In this video, I will show you how to mark boxes complete on the course map in TLM. Marking the boxes as complete does not prevent you from going in again to view them. It just helps you keep track of where you are in the course. Also, if the boxes are not marked complete, the course test cannot be released to you. So for the unit boxes, click on the box and select Mark Unit Complete. So you can see Mark Unit Complete comes up. Just click on that and you'll see that the unit box goes from green to blue and it shows completed. You do this for every unit box. Assignment boxes are a little different in how you mark the box complete. Again, you're going to select Go, but this time you're going to click on View Assignment. Now, if you wanted to view the assignment, you would click on the PDF to view it. However, I'm assuming that you want to mark the box as complete. So what you're going to do is click Submit Assignment, this button down here. You don't need to enter any text. You don't need to attach any file. Remembering that when you submit an assignment, you submit it directly to your instructor through email. This is just the process that you do to mark the box complete. So leave it all blank, hit Submit Assignment, and once it's recorded that you've hit that button, you'll notice that the Submit button has now disappeared. And to finish the process, you must hit Close. So select Close, and then you'll notice that that box has now been changed to blue and is completed. And that completes how you change a box to completed.